Moses in the burning bush. Exodus chapter 3 verse 1 to chapter 4 verse 14. Moses was looking after the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led it to the far side of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. The angel of Yahweh appeared to him in a flaming blaze from the middle of a bush. Moses looked. There was a bush blazing, but the bush was not being burnt up. Moses said, "I must go across and see this strange sight, and why the bush is not being burnt up." When Yahweh saw him going across to look, God called to him from the middle of the bush. "Moses, Moses," he said. "Here I am," he answered. "Come no nearer," he said. "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." "I am the God of your ancestors," he said, "the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this Moses covered his face, for he was afraid to look at God. Yahweh then said, "I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. Yes, I am well aware of their sufferings, and I have come down to rescue them from the clutches of the Egyptians, and bring them up out of the country to a country flowing with milk and honey, to the home of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Go, gather the elders of Israel together and tell them, Yahweh has said, I shall bring you out of the misery of Egypt to the country of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. They will listen to your words, and you and the elders of Israel are to go to the king of Egypt and say to him, Please allow us to make a 3 days journey into the desert and sacrifice to Yahweh our God. But I shall make Pharaoh stubborn. I myself shall make him obstinate. He will not let you go until I have stretched out my arm and struck Egypt. I shall lay my hand on Egypt, and with great acts of judgment. I shall ensure that the Egyptians are so impressed with his people that when you go, you will not go empty-handed. Every woman will ask her neighbour for silver and gold and jewellery and clothing. In these you will dress your own sons and daughters, despoiling the Egyptians of them. Moses replied as follows, But suppose they will not believe me or listen to my words and say to me, Yahweh's not appeared to you. Yahweh then said, What is that in your hand? A staff, he said. Throw it on the ground, said Yahweh. And Moses threw the stick on the ground. The staff became a snake, and Moses recoiled from it. Yahweh said to Moses, Reach out your hand and catch it by the tail. He reached out his hand and caught it, and it turned back into a staff. Next Yahweh said to him, Put your hand inside your tunic. He put his hand inside his tunic. Drawing it out again, his hand was diseased, white as snow. Yahweh then said, Put your hand back in your tunic. He put his hand back in his tunic, and when he drew it out, it was restored, just like the rest of his flesh. Should they not believe you, nor be convinced by the first sign, the second sign will convince them. But should they not be convinced by either of these 2 signs, and refuse to listen to what you say, you are to draw some water from the river and pour it on the ground, and the water you have taken from the river will turn to blood on dry land. Moses said to Yahweh, Please, my Lord, I have never been eloquent, for I am slow and hesitant of speech. Who gives a man a mouth? Yahweh said to him. Who makes a man dumb or deaf, gives sight or makes blind? Is it not I, Yahweh? Now go, I shall help you speak and instruct you what to say. Please, my Lord, Moses replied, send anyone else you choose. At this, Yahweh's anger kindled against Moses, and he said to him, There is your brother Aaron the Levite, is there not? I know that he is a good speaker. He will speak to the people in your place. He will be your mouthpiece. Amen.